remember what we did, but I remember us doing some stuff together because
I remember the impact it had on me, so that was good. And then I felt like I was like, "Oh, I'm good." And then you started Tirtha, and I was like, "I don't need that right now." But it all comes back around, right?
it does. It does. Well, we are happy. You're not only in Tirtha, but she is, and this is for everyone watching, Ranada is going to be leading the 21-day challenge this month, which, Renata, just even for you to show up every day creating, creating, and creating is such good practice for us to do because it has you on the hook to create.
I realize that, and that's a big part of the reason that I agreed to do it because it's a good practice for me and for everyone to get into the routine and the um, theme of optimism and positivity, I think is really important for me to spend some time and energy focusing on, and I hope a lot of people have fun with it.
Yeah, completely. So, talking about fun and positivity and optimism, before we get too far down into the vision here and why that matters to you and why the topic optimism really matters to you, I was reading through the profile in Tirtha, and it was making me laugh because there was one comment at the bottom of it that says, "My love for cheese is endless," or something to that fact.
It's true.
I
So,
can
so
vouch
that's
for her love of cheese aggressively.
It
yes. Well, Becca, we
knows it
didn't know
well.
that. We didn't know the cheese. So tell us, Renata, your love affair of cheese. What is this about that it had to be even on your profile?
I am from Wisconsin, so that might be something to do with it. But I don't really know. I can't really explain it. I just find cheese is like such a magical, delicious food. In all of its forms. There are very few cheeses that I don't genuinely enjoy. And so my husband and I just enjoy now going and finding new cheeses and trying different creations of, I mean, it's sort of this whole world of artisan cheesemakers and their creativity and experiencing it in food is just a lot of fun.
Okay, well then watch out because I think at some point we'll be doing something in France.
Oh, sign me up.
I know I just have to say that, and you're like, yes, because I'm married to a Frenchman who loves cheese too. So, so okay, and is your family connected to any of the cheese farmers or any of that connection, or you just love the cheese?
I just love the cheese.
Yeah,
I think I've
okay.
been on one dairy farm in my entire life, but still love the cheese.
So tell us, because all of us are getting to know you on this call. And how I know you is you were introduced to me from Kim Besner, because you both work in the same company, but you're in Chicago, she's in New York.
Yes.
But how did you even get into construction and projects and managing projects and all that stuff? Like, what's the background to this?
It's pretty accidental. I went to school for business management. I got my degree in business management, and I had an interest in architecture, but I was a little too intimidated to take that on. When I graduated from college, I moved to the East Coast and I didn't have a job. And so I registered with Manpower, the temp agency, if people are familiar with that, and was just kind of like taking whatever I could get for and the second job that they put me in was at a construction company. The first job was doing data entry for people that were applying for a grant. And I sat at a desk all day and fell asleep until they would come out. It was awful. Um, and tell me what to type, and then they'd go back in. But my second job was at a construction company as a general contractor that built condos and senior living centers. And I worked in pre-construction for them while they had an employee that was from Guatemala and she was going home to visit her family for an extended period of time. So I was able to work for them for like a month or a month and a half, um, and just helped with the pre-construction bidding, which is the time back in the day. you get subcontractors to bid on projects and you had to print out the blueprints and mail them to the contractors. And it was a very long and tedious process. And so just
Wow.
having somebody that would do the administrative work was helpful. But then there was the follow-up of like calling and asking, did they get the information? Are they planning to bid? And so through that, I started learning more about the trades and what construction meant. Um, and so after my temp role, they asked me to stay on. So that was my first permanent job in construction. I was there for like 3.5 years. And then over the course of time, was introduced to VVA and to Kim, and then to you. And here we are.
Now, your job, if you could just share with people, what do you actually do?
What I do is if a company is moving or building new space, building a new um, like plant or something like that, they will hire my company to manage the process on their behalf because it's not something they do every day. So they don't have necessarily the internal resources. So we help them set a budget and a schedule at the outset and then hire the architects and the engineers and the contractors and manage that process on their behalf so that the end of the day, their space is ready on budget, on schedule, and try to just make it as seamless a process for them as possible.
Now, what she's saying sounds so simple, and it's not. I mean, even just to do your own home takes something. And I had the real lived experience. I just got back from New York and I was with Kim, and I also met Agatha. And Agatha is another woman who works for VVA, but she oversees retail and hospitality. And one of her big projects right now was this very fancy hotel on Fifth Avenue, which was just around the corner from where we were meeting. So after we met, she's like, Joe, do you want to come and see behind the scenes of all these different rooms and floors and things we're renovating with the $25,000 thing that goes fabric that goes around a lampshade that is on an elevator to this, to this, to this, to this. So she gave me a walking tour of just going through this very high-end building. And it's when I was in the building with her and with Kim that I started to really get the magnitude of what you guys do. It hadn't hit me until I was live in that space going, how on earth do you do this? I would go absolutely insane with all those details, all those connections, all those approvals, all those things that you've got to connect, keeping this on track, keeping the budget on track, keeping the thing moving, making sure everyone's happy, making sure the whole thing, Ranada. I walked out of there with Kim and Agatha on both sides, and I just looked at them and said, I don't know what just happened to me, but I think the pair of you are like female gods walking down the street. How do you do it?
Organization and planning. You have to be, and you have to understand how to work with people. I mean, there's so many people on every project, and getting everybody to work together and understand their roles is like, I think that's the magic of project management. It's like the parts and the pieces are there's processes, right?
Yeah.
Um, but every team is different. Every personality is different. And so like the fun of it is that you're constantly dealing with different people and you're constantly engaging with unique people, but you also have to get all of those different personalities and perspectives to work together.
I can't even. So the fact that you're detail oriented to that level, organized to a level that I don't think I will even vaguely get because I'm not organized at all.
Doubt that.
And then you have the power to be gracious to make sure that people are working well together. So how do you keep your peace of mind? Because I would go absolutely insane.
I think there's always just like keeping things in perspective of like you always want to do, I think there's maybe two things. Give everybody the benefit of the doubt that their intentions are good, that they want the project to succeed, And so if you come at it from that perspective, then a lot of times it's just getting people to understand the other person's perspective. So I think that's a lot of it. And then there's also like the most days we're not saving lives, right? We're not, and so it's so you want to show up and do the best job you can, but you can't like emotionally internalize everything. You have to be able to kind of set aside the emotions and do the job.
And how do you do that?
I think that I make a really high priority to enjoy my time away from work
Mm.
and set aside work when I need to. I'm a pretty introverted person and I need some time to just be quiet and be in my own space. And so I think it's just like I know that about myself and I really have to make time for that.
I'm like an introvert extrovert too. Like I'm happy to be with people, full tilt boogie like you are in your role. And then when you just kind of hit it, like, okay, I just need to be on my own and not talk to anyone. And I haven't quite yet mastered how to switch my brain off work. That's why I'm actually genuinely asking you, because there must be so much going through your head, like, did this happen, or did I do this, or what about this, or oh, did that, like, it's like, do you have, like, I can just see your brain with like multiple lists running like the matrix at all
Oh
times.
yeah. I have the like 4 a.m. wake ups of like, oh my God, I'm just gonna email myself these 3 things because I can't sleep.
You do, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's normal, right? Try to
I don't
control how
know.
many days in a row that happens.
Oh my God. Renata, I have just such deep respect for what you guys do after being with New York and Agda. I just did not get the magnitude of your role.
I'm
And
really glad that you got to like see it, that you got to like get a
yeah,
peek into my world and Kim's world, and I just love it. I think it's fascinating. I love the work that we do. It's seeing projects come together is just like endlessly rewarding. So it's neat that you were able to experience a little bit of the things we do.
yeah, no, completely. So where you are, you've been with VVA for how long?
For 14 years.
14 years. And you're the project manager of the Chicago office, is that
I'm the
correct?
director of the Chicago office.
Sorry, correct me now. You are the director of the Chicago office. So no small feat. So now, is there anything that you want to share about your vision? Because when we say vision made real, this is really where, as women inside of Tirtha start to share who they are as a woman, what their life's about, and what their legacy is about. So it's you as a woman, the life you're creating, and then the legacy you're going to create, because there's something inside of all of us that's making a difference for who we are now and a difference for the future, maybe that we're not even see. And I know the size of your heart. And so if you want to tell people a little bit about what you did for someone else.
Sure.
Yeah.
So last year, a little over a year ago, I donated a kidney to a person in my community that needed it to survive.
Can you just let that sink in? How did you find out about them needing a kidney?
There's a local online newspaper in Chicago called Block Club Chicago, and I just read the articles that come up because it's a little bit closer to more local than like the like Chicago Tribune. And so I like just seeing what they've got going on. They've got community events, and then an article popped up that said Randy Duncan needs a kidney, and I read about him. And he is a teacher at a performing arts high school in Chicago. And I thought, man, if there's like do I don't do volunteer work. I don't do a lot in my own community, but he does. And so maybe if I can help him continue to do the work that he's doing as a teacher and a person who's, creating this culture around arts, like who better to give a kidney to than that?
Wild, right? I don't think you get how rare you are.
I think that I appreciate that. My perspective is always that like a lot of people are doing things in their own way. And this felt like something that was accessible to me. And so I don't want to discount like the other work that other people do. I don't see myself as like a big hero. It's just my contribution also.
Okay, well, we're going to have to transform that humility of yours so you can own this a little bit more because it's a really big deal. And what was the process of it? So you see it, Randy, the teacher, and then what happened?
Oh, well, I'll back up because I didn't know, I knew for a long time that you could donate a kidney, but I'd sort of like when I was younger, I learned that and I thought, well, if you could donate a kidney and everybody has two, then why wouldn't you? But then I also like in my 20s and just kind of like set it aside. And then last December-ish, it sort of like creeped back into my head. And I was like, maybe I should look into donating a kidney because you do sort of have this like life sometimes feels like um overwhelming in like like just the state of the world and you're like how can I have an impact? And so I called Becca and I said, Becca, I'm thinking about donating a kidney. And she's like, can you say that again? And then again, like, I did the research to like remind myself of like what the process is and then just kind of like talked to my husband and was like, if somebody needed a kidney, how would you feel about me donating it? And his dad has had kidney cancer. And so he was like that, like if he was fully supportive of it, of right, like he understands the importance of like having healthy kidneys. And if I had an extra one, then sure, share it. And so then the article came up that Randy Duncan needed a kidney, and I was like, it was already sort of contemplated that. And I'm like, it's like it was meant to be, right?
Yeah, sounds like so divine.
The
Like,
perfect person to donate a kidney to, and he's right
yeah.
here. And so the first step is there's an email address of like, if you're willing to get tested, email this person. And she was the kind of kidney facilitator. And so I sent her an email. It had been a few days because I think I was traveling when I saw the article. And so I came home, talked to my husband, and she's like, we've got a lot of inquiries already. But you'll be the last person I screen, but I'll screen you. And so we did the phone interview and she was like, it seems like you might be the best candidate we have. Would you mind getting some blood work done? And so then I went in and I did the blood work and they're like, blood work came back great. The next step is you spend an entire day at the hospital and you get literally everything tested. They draw like all of your blood, um, which was genuinely the hardest thing for me. I do not like needles. I don't like getting blood drawn. I was like, you can take a kidney. I'm under anesthesia. I do great under anesthesia. But the blood work beforehand that was a doozy. But I spent the whole day, they check your blood pressure, they test you for like, I was getting these test results coming in on my phone because everything's online now, the portals, like you don't have West Nile virus. And I was like, great. Like, I mean, they test you for everything.
So
So
now you know you're the most healthiest person on the planet.
you really, it's like
Yeah,
it's a free like full health scan. Yes. The other
yeah.
thing about donating a kidney is the kidney recipient's insurance pays for everything. Um, inadvertently, yes, a very, very thorough health screening. But that then came back as everything was good and clear. We're a perfect blood match, tissue match. And so then they're like, we can schedule surgery. When are you ready? And then you have the realization of like, oh, like this is this is really happening. And
Yeah.
you like they do a lot of like mental health checks too to say like, are you're not being you're not depressed, you're not being persuaded into this, you're not like you're making this decision of like, as much of your full accord as possible. So as much as anybody has full accord, but
So you found
Um,
out you were healthy and you also found out you were sane.
yes, mostly
This is,
same. Yes.
yeah, totally sane. And then what happened?
We scheduled the surgery. And at some point, because they call it like a Good Samaritan donor, which is like you don't know the person that you're donating to beforehand, but that somehow had gotten translated into like me wanting to be anonymous. Which I did say like at the beginning, you never know until they give you the full green light. You don't know that something's not going to go wrong, right? I mean, they do so many tests that like at some point they could just say something's not a match. And so I also don't want to get somebody like I don't want to get anybody's hopes up. Like I didn't want to get Randy's hopes up and then it doesn't work out. So, but he understood that I wanted to be anonymous. So neither of us reached out to each other in the weeks leading up to the surgery. But the morning of the surgery, they called us to go up to check in together. And when we were both standing at the desk together, he said, "I'm Randy Duncan. I'm here to get my kidney." And I was standing behind him and I was like, "Oh, I'm your donor." And he turned around and he just had the biggest smile on his face. It was just the like most heartwarming thing, like the moment of just being like, "Yep, this feels right."
Oh,
We had like 2 seconds. We got a picture together, and then we were pulled in opposite directions to prep for surgery. And that was the last time we saw each other until my kidney was solidly inside his body.
and and are you both in the same room together? So they literally take it out of you and put it into him?
When we are in surgery, I don't, because I don't know. I was out. I can't remember.
Yeah,
They did tell me we're either in the same room or we're like, right next door to each other. I
yeah.
think we are actually in the same room. Yeah.
Wow.
And then
That's
we
kind
wake
of
up in like our
wild.
own recovery rooms. So yeah.
Wow. And then what happened?
They want you to get up and walk really soon is like part of the recovery. As soon as you can, they want you to get up and walk. So I spent 2 nights, like 3 days in the hospital, and Randy and I were on the same floor. And so I would like try to walk around, but I would walk down once a day and say hi to him and check in on how he was doing and meet his friends. And receiving a kidney is way harder than giving a kidney. My
Really?
recovery period was like a month, and the recovery period for receiving a kidney is like a year to like really
Wow.
it's a lot for your body to go I mean, all people that get kidneys are already sick, right? They need it, so their bodies are a little bit worn down anyway. And then receiving a kidney and your body having to adapt to having that new organ, there's a lot of medications for like what do they call it? Anti-rejection medication. And getting that medication dialed in can be a long process. So it's a really long period for the recipient. But for me, I was up and walking around pretty quickly and out of the hospital and took a week off. And then I worked from home for a week and then kind of felt better pretty quickly.
Awesome. Now, have you stayed in contact with Randy the whole time?
I stayed in contact with him. I did in the fall. I went and met him at his school. There was an open house. He's a dance teacher and a choreographer. And now that I've learned this, he's actually a very well-renowned choreographer. So, kind of been really fascinating to kind of get a glimpse into his world. But I went to the school that he teaches at, and they did an open house, and I saw some of his students perform. And then, unbeknownst to me, a colleague of mine that works in the construction industry also knows Randy, and they're on the same board for a charity called Dance for Life. And so Randy had said, "Hey, our lease for our school is up in 2 years, and I know that you work in like architecture and what do we need to do?" And so Brian eventually found out that I had donated my kidney to Randy. I think he saw when I did the open house in the fall, Randy had posted a picture on Facebook, and Brian saw it and was like, holy cow, how do you guys know? This is crazy. And so he told Randy, he's like, well, we need to talk to Renata. She does project management. So so now I'm staying in touch with Randy, but I'm also helping the school in their search for a new location, which is also kind of hilarious and like such a small world and tremendously rewarding in its own new way.
It sounds so meant to be.
Yeah.
When you really share it, it sounds so settled, as if it was already designed and laid out for you to go create, like the kismet of it all and the synchronicity of it all, and now full circle, coming back to the school and getting supporting the school with Randy in it, with Brian, and with your kidney and everything. So
I know.
it's a wild ride. And if you look, because somehow that was a moment where your life became so rich and you're working in construction. It wasn't just about going to a job. It wasn't just about working with a client. There was this opening into this experience of all your worlds coming together to create this experience.
Yeah.
To create this experience, which tells me that you are very much connected to your own path, Renata. You're very in tune with where you're at. Otherwise, none of that magic would have happened otherwise.
Hmm. It's an interesting way to look at that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So once we can start to trust that who we are, where we are, and what we're doing is somehow all orchestrated, but we've got to have the courage to create, or the courage to say, yes, I'm going to give you my kidney. The courage to speak to your husband about it, the courage to go get it done, the full-on test, everything you did. So there was a willingness on your part that many of us on this call, and those of you watching, know there's a term for it. It's called answering the call. It's when life is asking something from you that's bigger than what you know, and it's just, it has you step into something that's calling you, which you beautifully just demonstrated with everything you just shared with us. You answered a call. Like suddenly you're having a thought about, shall I donate a kidney? And then you've seen the impact of it because of your husband's father. And then you're thinking about it. And then you see the picture or the comment in the paper. And then you're talking to Becca. And then you go there and then they say, oh, basically, we don't know if you're going to be a match, but then you become the best candidate. Like the whole thing is so intertwined or interweaved.
Yeah.
And I wonder what else is there's next for you to create. So what else are you noodling on over there?
I think well, I just like responding to what you just said, like
Yeah, please.
it yes, I've thought a lot about how it all came together, and it genuinely in the moment felt like a calling of like I didn't, in a way that even now when I look back on it, like the lack of doubt that I had, the lack of reservations that I have, and I'm like, wow. Um, and so the way that you explained that just really resonated a lot with me. I don't know that I could say it as eloquently as you, but it yeah, um it does feel like it was meant. There's moments in life that you look at where you think this doesn't feel like it just randomly happened. And that's one of the things that I look at and I think that really doesn't that doesn't couldn't have been random. Doesn't seem like it could possibly be random. So it does sort of make you think that, yes, if you're willing to show up for things, the world has a plan. And so I'm practicing saying yes more. Um, being here is that, you
Yeah.
know, I'm very uncomfortable with talking about myself and um but Michelle put me on this spot and thank
Yes.
you. But it's good. It creates a different perspective, right? Of being willing more, like you see the good that can come from being open to different experiences and saying yes to more things. And so that's for sure. There's also a reflection of like finding the things that you do want to invest your time and energy in. And it's something that Becca and I have talked about recently too, of when you find like relating it back to work is like clients or projects or whatever that you're like, wow, they're doing something that's really meaningful and can like make a difference. And that's something that I really want to get behind and invest my own time in and help them be successful. And so thinking more about how to position the the things that spend my time on as things that I am interested in and care about and I think are
Yeah.
worthwhile.
Yeah, that's having a focus that you become a purpose-driven person in business versus just a transactional get the job or get a client.
Yeah.
But before we open that up into a deeper conversation, because that's I'd love to talk about that more in a second, okay? But before we do that, you're creating the 21-day theme in Tirtha, which is all about optimism. But I'm wondering if you're open for a pivot.
Okay. Yes.
Because, okay, exactly, because of what you've so simply demonstrated on this call is what it looks like when you say yes to something bigger than you. And you now know when you do say yes to things that are in alignment, there is no doubt. There's a settling there, there's a completeness there, there's a power with yourself and what you're up to. It just feels right. You don't have to question it. You don't have to go seek 10,000 people's points of view on it. It's like, okay, yep, that's what I'm going to do. So maybe we're going to create this together right now, and you're creating it. So if you like the idea, awesome. If you don't say I don't like the idea, okay?
Okay.
But it could be the 21-day challenge of saying yes to something that you've not said yes to every day.
I like that. I like that a lot.
Yeah. So if you and I were playing right now, and what's something that you've not said, well, this call was one of them. You said yes to this call. So you are the living, breathing poster child of what we're saying. Okay. And everything that comes with it. But is there anything else in your life that you would love to say yes to that you've not said yes to yet?
Sure, there's a lot of things. Oh, I have to write 21 things down before Thursday, Joe.
No, you can do it every morning. Don't even worry about it. Don't even worry about that. Life will dance with you if you're going to dance. So don't worry about that piece.
Yeah.
But if you could just pick
I think
one thing that's current.
one thing that's current I would like
Mm-hmm.
to say yes to.
Mm-hmm. It's called getting in the seat of someone else's car. So does your husband have a request of you that maybe you've ignored that if you said yes to would shift something at home or with your family or friends?
Um, what have I not? Okay. Like, this is really hard. I don't know why. Because I'm not good at thinking on my feet. I'm like, as soon as we hang up, I'm gonna have like 100 things.
Yeah. No. And if that's the case, don't worry. No, but do you like this as a 21-day challenge?
I do like it as a 21-day challenge. Yes.
And it could be either you intentionally create
Oh, I have
things.
one.
Yes,
I need
right.
to say yes to going and visiting Becca. And we had a trip planned and it ended up getting canceled,
Yeah.
and that's an important one.
Okay, so get that schedule. That's what you're starting the 21-day challenge with.
Yep.
Becca, she's coming whether you like it or not. I know she's listening in.
You read my mind. I was literally telepathing that to you.
Yay! Come on, you two. Perfect. Perfect.
I
Yeah.
have
Okay.
cheese stores. I have a full cheese adventure mapped out for her visit.
There could be more people coming to you because you're in the Catskills in New York, right, Becca?
I am in an amazing spot.
Okay. So, all right. So now, so that was just a moment of opening up. What an experience. Why? Because you're saying yes to something that maybe there was no time for it. It's not the right circumstance, or you want to do it when it feels right. But when you say yes to something without knowing yet how it's all going to go down, that's where the magic is. That's what it is to create life, to
Yeah.
live a life. When you start playing in that field more. Okay, so you got the 21-day vision challenge down, and now you've got a cheese tour around Catskills, New York. So lucky you. Look at what happens when you get on a vision made real call. Like you're getting your vision of cheese fulfilled here. Now, going back to what you said, and it's interesting, Ranada, we haven't spoken since a couple of weeks ago, since we started chatting. I started to, because I'm so immersed, I feel like I am immersed in VVA without being in VVA. It's the most interesting thing because there's a few of you now here with us, and a few of you I'm getting to know. And what I love about it, and this is why I met Agatha, just to kind of bounce around with you to open up what you want to create in business, like a new vision in business and construction, is I was toying around with the idea of what if retail space became activations to transform loneliness? Just as an idea.
Mm-hmm.
How to develop staff, people, and moments so when they walk into a space, there's real human connection. Because I think that's something that really matters to you, is human connection.
Yeah.
So inside your vision of, and I don't know, it's created, like we're literally creating right now. If we look back on your career, and how old are you now? I don't know.
45.
Okay, so you're 45. So, and how long do you want to work for?
Oh, until I'm 45 in 3 more days, but
Okay, so the last 3 days that
65.
you've got.
I love my job, but you know.
I know exactly what you're saying. So in the time that you're going to spend doing what you love to do, this thing called a job, and you opening up that you would love to look for clients that are purpose driven, like the woman you are, Renata, is someone who is very brilliant to get. I'm actually getting this now as I'm with you getting this. It's like you're someone who says, okay, I'm not going to make a difference for this community. I'm not going to do that. But if I make a difference for the person who is, that's my way of making an impact. So now, do you know what we call that?
I don't know.
Leadership.
Oh.
Leadership. That's straight up leadership. So what if you moved away from being the director of the Chicago office to being a leader in the Chicago office. And you and your team started to shift on what kind of projects you were working on, or even searching for or looking for, because it's an alignment that what you put your energy to makes an impact in the right way. Like what you did for Randy, you do for businesses and projects.
Yeah.
And do you have any idea of what they would be, or what you'd like to work on, or any of that space?
Well, I do not entirely. We talked about like the Fujifilm project on the
Yeah.
Essentials course on Saturday, and that was pretty rewarding. And then Becca knows that we just put a proposal together for a startup that invented a new liquid battery technology that could be used to charge electric vehicles the way that you charge gas. So you don't have to wait for them to charge. You can just fill them up with this liquid battery. But it's interesting because I had a similar reaction to like meeting them as like Fujifilm, of these are people who have a very optimistic view of the world, and they're working on something that will change the world for the better, right? And so you feel like, man, I want to get behind what they're doing. I want to, and so like just it, it comes about in a million different ways, or there's a life sciences company that's developing, these um, cell technologies, or these battery companies that are creating these new technologies, or a performing arts high school. It sort of is like just people that have an optimistic view that they can still impact the world in a positive way, because it feels like that can sometimes get lost in like the corporate grind.
Yeah. So what I'm really hearing is, if you could put all your focus into is finding projects and companies that specialize in innovation.
Yeah.
It's like innovation 101. So it's not could be anything from life science to a school to dancing to this to that, but the innovation of it that inspires you, and maybe that's your read. Like, what do they do, and does it inspire me?
Yeah.
And if it does, then you're open to even exploring that relationship to make a difference, because you're connected to the difference it makes. And maybe that's how you start now, actually start approaching how to build your business.
Yeah.
I have one philosophy: I can never work with someone I don't like. It just is too weird for me
Yeah.
at this point.
What you do is so intimate, so that makes a lot of sense to me.
Yes, and what you do is so specialized. And if we were going to put your energy and your intelligence and your heart into a vision, then you knowing when you complete your career, whenever that is in 3 days, that in that time, you're so inspired because you've worked with companies in innovation.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It feels like that also creates like a future, right?
Yes.
Like they're creating a legacy that I can support.
And there we have it. You just created a new vision for yourself.
Yeah, I love that.
Me too. So you are the source of new legacies in the world happening, working with businesses of innovation, companies that inspire you. Before you go, give them everything you got and your 4 a.m. wake up with the list and the this, to make sure it's worth all your time and energy as a woman who creates. So your heart is fulfilled in what you do. And I think if women put the heart into construction, that would be a game changer. a game changer. Okay, so Ranada, we're going to open the floor. Does anyone have any questions for Ranada? Because this is a very intimate fireside chat, Vision Made Real call today. So, because we're all starting to get to know you. So, anyone have a question for, Julie?
Ranada, it's like a whole new level of appreciation for you.
Thank you.
It blows my mind.
Right.
Aw,
So thank you, because, it's like having this experience tonight is like, wow. It's like knowing the good that's being done out in the world, like right here, but all over from us. So thanks for that. You're remarkable.
thank you.
Yeah, great acknowledgement. Anyone else have a question for Ranada? Or you have some, or you just have something that you want to say? Yeah, Julia. I can tell by you, so you don't worry about getting right. Just pop it in. What are you even present to, Julia, from this conversation?
I'm present to the incredible difference being of service and in listening can make. It occurs to me, Renata, that you are really tuned in. It's like you're pulling in the information of the people around you and what's happening in the world. And like there's this really deep listening that you're activated by. And your contribution is through service. And anyway, I'm thinking about that and how beautiful it is to listen to. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, Renata is so what I'm really moved by is one woman creating that kind of impact. And sometimes I don't think we think as one woman we're creating such a huge impact. But here you are, Becca's listening in on the call, as is Michelle, and just the ability that you could work with projects of businesses that specialize in innovation, that shape the future of humanity. And you're the one making sure the structure goes up for that to get fulfilled. The impact that you have, you have with your team in Chicago, being the leader of the Chicago office, empowering others to make an impact, is huge. And I think once we all start to relate to ourselves as that big, we can see it with you because there's a physical building that goes with it. So we can literally see it in reality more with you. It's less ethereal. But every one of us in Tirtha are women who have these visions that just keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And it's not by doing more or working more or even changing anything about you. It's just completely reframing and recreating what you're here to create. So I think on that note, I think we got it. Anything left for you? You did it, Renata. You did it. You lasted.
Thank you.
So cool.
No, I just appreciate again everybody joining and listening, and the community of Tirtha is just remarkable. I do genuinely enjoy listening to everybody every week and all the things that all the women share. Julie and Julia and Michelle and Becca and other Michelle, happy birthday.
Yeah. Yes.
And listening to you, Joe, even because you share so much and you're so vulnerable and the lessons that you're teaching. So it's meaningful to me. I learn something every week. I enjoy so much the community. So thank you.
Yeah, you are welcome and you're very much part of it. And that's why we're trusting you to lead the 21-day vision. And I will be there with you. So you're not on your own on this, okay? But you do you. And it's a mixture. You can create it any way you want. It could be, what do you want to say yes to? What are you innovating? What are you optimistic about? I mean, you can just, it's a creation.
Yeah.
There's no right way. So out of all tonight's conversation, Renata, however you want to start it, however you want to do it, but really bringing forth a future of optimism. And how do we get that? We say yes to things that stretch us.
Yeah. Are we
Cool.
starting it tomorrow? Or are we starting it Thursday?
Michelle, when are we starting it?
Thursday.
Thursday. Okay. So you've got
Perfect.
time to kind of go, what just happened? And then you can
Exactly.
and you can do it on Thursday.
Yep.
Okay, so on that note, anything for everyone, I think that's pretty complete. It was very simple but beautifully said. And Renata, something just tells me, I think with a little bit more love under your wings, you're gonna fly.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank
Thank you very
you.
much.
Okay. All right. On that, Michelle, you're the host. So you can stop the recording. And then I'll see some of you tomorrow. And then I'll see you, Renata, on Thursday inside the 21-day challenge. And everyone else, thank you so much for being on the call. And for everyone watching, thank you for watching the call. I love each and every one of you. And happy birthday, Michelle.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday!
Thank you. Great job, Renata.